Hello and welcome to the Extreme Z Podcast, the only Dokkan podcast making your favorite talk show format relevant again. I'm your host, Epic Mewtwo.
And I'm your co-host, Kayvon, and I'm drinking water.
And, oh well, I guess I'll join you then, no? Today, we're back with another episode. How y'all doing? We're doing pretty good. We're a little bit just a tad worn out. We just finished recording the second half of this video. As you can see.
Don't spoil.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil nothing. I'm just telling them how it be, how it is.
You're spoiling our inner mechanics that we record the second part first.
We've said that in the podcast before.
Oh, okay.
Got him. Anyway.
Nani.
The topic for today that we were talking about and will be talking about for you, the lovely viewer. Yes, Has Dokkan entered a new meta, and the boy Goresh is back on this episode to discuss with us. It is a little bit
returning guest.
Yes, it is a little bit of a longer episode as well. I mean, as I'm sure you can see by the timestamp. So definitely enjoy it because we actually really enjoyed having the conversation. But
definitely,
the wind is out of us right now. But luckily. Yeah. As it seems to be with Dokkan lately, there ain't too much news. There's quite a bit for JP, I guess, with Golden Week.
The Global has some good. The Global has a new celebration at least, so.
Well,
it's nothing.
Too bad it's trash.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. In flag is trash, so.
Yeah, exactly. Second worst Dokkan Fest in the game, but.
Debatable.
We'll save that for the second half that we already talked about.
Got him.
But anyhow, let's go over our news for today. Of course, we're going to be starting off with that young Japanese version. So the first thing that we got was a bunch of the events from the spring campaign, we'll just call it. Yeah, basically just got extended. Nothing too, exciting there. But a new update was announced for JP. That is actually pretty cool. This stuff, but a lot of good stuff brought. I keep saying bought instead of brought for some reason. First of all, we had the boost mechanic enabled, where you were...
You mean the compensation boost, as TV Space would like to call it.
Yes. Basically what this is that you put a boost button on, you get 3 bars, and they reset every 8 hours each bar. And you get double the rewards for the run that you have it turned on for, which is really cool.
But keep in mind... Oh, sorry, I just wanted to... You only get double the rewards if they're guaranteed. If it's for, if you're trying to, grind SA or something, you can just get nothing. Because it doesn't give you double the rewards, it just makes it so you did 2 runs at once.
Right. And then also, too...
Just to make that note.
Right. So that's what I was going to say. It's not necessarily, exact either. It truly isn't true double rewards, but sort of kind of double rewards. If you play
That's
through
used on Dokkan events, at least.
Right.
Or the Vegeta grants.
Right. I was just going to say, for example, on the Prime Battle Vegeta, say you get 3 sets of 7 medals, you're not going to necessarily get 3 more sets of 7 medals as any of the numbers that, you can get from the drop. Nonetheless, though, very cool. You also get double XP for doing that from the event. Double XP,
friend points.
Right, from that, yes, which is very cool as well.
Yeah.
A new, I almost said filtration system. I guess that's kind of correct.
Oh, okay.
Was implemented where you can now sort by link skills and other effects of characters, which is pretty cool.
Very nice.
Obviously not too useful if you are a English-speaking player on JP. Global players will probably use it, but if you have the game memorized, like I know my man over here does, you might not need it. The other thing that they did, though, that is really cool is that they updated the scouter on the summon screen, and everybody has really been enjoying this. You can see every stage of the Dokkan Awakening for a unit. And
it's in ×2 speed.
Yes, which is great. And you can see every super attack. Well, actually, you can see the super attack for the final stage. I was looking on someone's video, and they were looking through this the stages of the character, and some of the super attacks, like the midway ones, weren't there. I'm assuming that means that they don't change, and it's just simply the one before it. Because they show in the example here, Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, the LR, and the SR has a different super attack than the LR, and they are, both visible to be played there. So very cool, though. That did drop, which, was a very nice update as well.
By the way, if you look at LRs, you can see both their super attacks, so that's cool, too.
Which is, yes, that is very nice.
When they're at LR, obviously.
Now, here is the main sort of debacle that we had going on, JP.
A JP glitch, nani?
Right, well, first of all, I did miss something that was, like, super important that the glitch is sort of related to. The Kale and Caulifla banner went live.
Alright, I missed that too.
It's okay. The current best LR in the game. I don't know how we missed it.
Not even best LR, best unit.
Yes, like, best unit in the game. I hate it. By far. Most certainly.
In the second part.
Yes. And the Kale and Caulifla SSRs were also released alongside them. All this on an LR banner. Again, literally, like, best unit in the game, hands down. Now, they, upon release, not only did they break the game in terms of being powerful, they also broke the game in terms of literally making the game bug. What happened was that certain characters were displaying higher attack stats than normal. Some of them were visual, and some of them were actually higher than normal. And then not only that, LRs were getting max key additional attacks. And it was wild. Basically, though, they don't get 12 key, or they get their 12 key animation, rather, but their attack stat is max key. You can see it in the top, and obviously the damage that they deal is max key as well.
And just a little added thing, for the units having displaying higher attack stats, it all depends on, like, basically, every unit's key limit. Mm-hmm. Essentially, like, obviously you can only get up to 12 key in your attack stat. It doesn't go higher unless you're an LR.
Right.
Every unit essentially became a nuker because of this.
Right. They were able to get a attack stat higher than what would be normal of a 12 key unit. So,
which was ridiculous.
Right. It was whack. Showcases were broken for a while. I actually still have two videos sitting in the archives with Abel. No, well, yes, in the future, but me and Abel did 2 races while the game was glitched, so those will be fun to watch. But nonetheless, though, they did fix the first issue, that being the attack stats visually and physically of a lot of the units, but all of the LRs
additionals are still bugged.
Yes, still have bugged additionals, which is quite not what's the word I'm looking for?
This ain't no grade A glitch, at least. It benefits the players more than it hurts them.
Right. Although, to be fair, only 5 stone compensation was given out, which is good and bad. Good because then we're not going to have another 300 stone debacle, but at the same time, I definitely think it deserved more. For how big of an issue it was. The game was literally broken for a couple of days.
Yes, but the thing is, like, I'm going to just play the Boar's advocate a bit. Mm-hmm. It wasn't unplayable, like how the Great Ape glitch basically made the versions.
I mean,
because you literally couldn't use Great Apes.
Yes, at all. But I didn't feel like playing the game as much because it wasn't the game. It was like if I was using mods, and I didn't want to play with mods. I wanted to play the regular game.
The only thing that was, like, units had, well, most units, like, depending on how many orbs you collected, had, like, what, 100k higher attack stat?
I don't know if you saw some of the posts on the Reddit. Some of those units were wilding out, but...
That's because people literally grabbed a whole board of orbs.
I mean, hey...
Believe me, I tested it myself.
Whatever. But anyway, it was sort of...
whatever me, Rio.
Yeah, I'm gonna whatever you. Sit down, kid. Wait your turn. No.
Wow. Fine. Be that way. I'll leave.
No, please, I need you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was quite wild for the first couple of days because people didn't really know how it worked. We did sort of determine that that's how it was. That's how it
out the glitch.
Yes, literally. And it was quite odd too because only certain units were affected by the actual damage, which was very odd, but whatever. So, moving on from that, we had the Prime Battle Vegeta campaign announced, which is cool.
Nice.
Big dumb though, you only got 20 stones for doing it. You got 10 extra stones for having him already completed once the thing started. And not only that, you only get 7 Kais for getting him to SA20, not 10. They have been real stingy on these campaigns lately. This is a new level of stingy. Dokkan has hit a new low on some commentary channel type stuff. Dang. But you know, it's quite disappointing because before, you know, it's like, oh, you got 50 stones for doing it, 10 kais, and then they were like, all right, well, if you have them done, you're gonna get 10 stones and only 40 if you actually complete the campaign, and it's like, well, all right, that's
See,
kind of stingy, but then we're here now.
it's really weird because when they did Trunks, sure, it was the same thing like that. You got extra rewards if you already had him at LR,
Mm-hmm.
but at least then if you had him already LR, they gave 3 extra kais to get him to SA 20,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah.
But like, there's no kais mentioned here. I'm reading it. I don't see anything.
Yep. It's pretty dumb.
Just really weird.
There were only a couple of things that they slacked on Golden Week in terms of what we actually got. We can talk about that. Well, we sort of talk about it later in the video, in the second half, where Golden Week slacked a little bit in terms of content. But in terms of content that actually came out, this was one of 2 or 3 things that I can think of that they slacked on. But we move on. There was a little bit of maintenance. Obviously to prepare for Golden Week.
Well,
and
also
then
for the new update.
right, also for the new update. And then that dropped. And then wait. Boss Rush got a little notice that hey, it's going to be down for a little bit because they're revamping it. So that we'll talk about later. And then there was also a glitch with the new update. Well, wait, hold on. No, I believe what this was
They pushed forward an update for the
right.
biggest of bug.
So, okay, yeah. So, basically, instead, and this was kind of a weird choice because I don't remember them doing this really before, but instead of pushing out a maintenance to fix the issue of units' attack stats wilding out, like right away, they waited like a day or 2, maybe even 3.
Yeah.
I don't remember positively. You can look at the dates if you like, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that instead of that, they put out a update version, which was 4.3.1, which I think is the fastest they've honestly ever done that.
Yeah.
Although I do think it is kind of dumb because they really should have just put the game into maintenance and then fixed it right then.
Emergency maintenance right there.
Right. But, oh well. I suppose we can't really do much about it now. Moving on, though. We did hit first place in the App Store, or Google Play
for
Store.
the Glee Flame Kale.
Right. For some reason, they used Super Saiyan 3
Super Saiyan 3
Goku. Yeah, on the art piece, but alright.
I don't know, man.
Whatever. They did that with the Super Saiyan 4s for that LR banner, remember?
Yeah, that was weird.
That was a little weird. They also talked about how they're the legendary 10-minute maintenance. That was more like 5, but I remember this was really weird because me and Abel were recording, and then I saw on Twitter, I was like, yo, the game went into maintenance. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm playing it right now. And I was like, oh, actually, the game just went out of maintenance. And he was like, what? So there was literally a 10-minute maintenance. I don't know why. We never really got an answer as to why. It'd be like that, I guess. Nonetheless, though, we did get an announcement of a pretty cool thing that eventually did come out and is out now. This was the random login bonus for Golden Week. So basically, there is a special login animation upon, well, logging in. And you can get basically rainbow tier, gold tier, or silver tier login rewards, and it's random which one you get.
Getting shafted on the login bonus. A new meta evolves.
Yup, the new meta evolves. Hercule login bonus. But yeah, so
Yep.
cool that they added that. We'll talk a little bit more about that in detail, but that was teased.
What also was teased was
was the new events, the new Trunks, and the new merged Zamasu.
Ningen Slayer himself.
Ningen, yes. I do really like the teaser that they did for Trunks because it's like his end screen when he wins.
It's just little
the kids and the sword, and then the other one's just Fizz. Zamasu.
It's just Zamasu looking down on the Ningens.
Yes, unfortunately.
As you do.
But after that, we got a announcement that Battlefield was going to be updated once more. Another oob was added to the shop, and this is a complete Battlefield reset, right? As in, like, new, the bosses reset again.
I'm sorry, I just read that. The power of the hidden genie. Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. But yeah, so, like, we, I think we have all the bosses at this point. And like what I mean by I didn't mean all the bosses reset. I meant all the rewards reset. So you can get all of them completely. And a new oob was added to the shop. So that's cool. That should be live now. I don't remember the rewards updating.
No, wait. Oh, wait, the rewards? Yeah, I think they're live.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, though, we move on. This was the initial Golden Week announcement. This was kind of trippy. They put the boy, the Grand Priest, on the cover of the Golden Week celebration and Super Shinron, even though they have nothing to do with Golden Week. So that was a little bit odd, but all right. Still cool that they're there. So we had a couple of things announced. One, the Mr. Almost said it. Hercule login bonus was implemented into the game. Where you got the random login, you could get better rewards with the better RNG. I do like how they did. They did like the 2 different kinds of mission things, and one of them is Champa giving them the.
And then, I want that Chomp art as an art, please.
Yeah, right. And then the Beerus is the LR Beerus' art. Actually, I didn't notice that. Nonetheless,
then we have the Go Tanks with the 10 special missions.
Yes. Once more. And then we had the official announcement of the Dual Dokkan Fest with the new transforming Trunks and Zamasu. Of course, their final transformation being procced by an active skill. Their events, of course, went live. A great sale on JP. It was 230 stone packs discounted, 9 of the one in between the 2 bottom ones that was like 35 and you got 90 stones, and then one about $50 one where you got a blue stone and 100 big ol' stones. So it was a very, very good sale. They finally gave us a good one, considering the last couple on JP had been hot garbage. Oh, super sale, more like don't even make a sale at all if you're gonna have it that way. Actually, please don't. I bought them all. Shush. Anyway, Bluestone was updated from last time. They added
OGs, the OG Zamasu,
Tech Zamasu and Int Trunks. Interesting that they ended up on the banners for them anyway. The banners are really good, by the way. They're some of the best banners in Dokkan history. They're definitely up there.
Very nice banners.
I would say, too, we're probably not going to make another Bluestone video because we've made how many of those already? I would say, though, that you could probably still prioritize some of the other units over these guys. Definitely Trunks.
Especially if you pull them on this new banner.
Right. Especially then, yes. But, like the Merge Zamasu, technically, Goop Zamasu is the only one that we have. The Zamasu we have now is transforming into that.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on, this was another thing that I was talking about earlier, how there was only a couple things complained about with what we got. This was big dumb. Goasu, right? The brand new Goasu card that Dokkan Awakens into Zamasu and Goasu was limited as a featured unit to the brand new, I think I said in the second part, I think I kept saying Realm of Gods, but what I actually meant was the time and space category. And which is really weird, but then the even weirder thing that they did was that they put him unfeatured on Trunks' banner. Why they didn't do that on Zamasu's banner, I mean, yes, it's all villains on there, but I feel like they still could have just snuck him in there.
That would literally ruin the theming, though.
But it doesn't matter. It's still a slimy move. They should have at least made it less slimy if they were going to be. Because here's the thing, right?
He should have still been just featured on Trunks' banner.
I agree. Sometimes, though, I do feel like, Dokkan is blatantly slimy, but they're usually never slimy when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah.
But they did this time, so I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future with that. Obviously, he's just going to be put in the unfeatured pool. I mean, he's literally in it now. So, anyway. Moving on, Elder Kai banner. All EZAs live. Vegeta live. New Boss Rush live, which consisted of... Wait, let me see if I can remember.
Well, actually, it's not all EZAs, by the way.
It only a few. What's missing?
Yeah, Agent Broly.
Oh, well, that doesn't... Well, yeah, I guess that does actually count. Anyway, though, Boss Rush updated. What's in it? Future Gohan, Full Power Forku, UI Goku, Transforming Goku, and Transforming Frieza. TBH, one of the best, or one of the easiest ones yet, which is really unfortunate and kind of weird considering UI Goku's in there, but Future Gohan is just terrible. Unfortunately, his card and his event. All Dokkan events are open right now. Again, they're using this thing that they could have used the old one. I'm going to go back and find it so I don't have to keep complaining about it every time. And I can just paste it on my screen and have it look pretty. Super Battle Road, active. Basically, all the future events active. The Dragon Ball Super story, the Hope event, the Battlefield thing went up 4 times rank XP, which I didn't even notice. That's actually cool. Yeah. Finally, they actually made it for it.
30% discount from the Bob Shop, which is always, in my opinion, very nice.
Yeah. Like, that's definitely not a necessary thing, but also very nice when they do it.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to note before we do move on is that the missions for Golden Week do have a part 2 in the data. So it does confirm that we're going to be getting a part 2.
Well, yes, and technically yes, but actually no.
Well, when I say a part 2, I just mean a part 2 to Golden Week. We have no idea what it's going to be.
Not really, because they could just be a part 2 to the missions. It might not
you're
be
wrong.
For Golden Week. I mean, it's happened before.
No, you're wrong.
Boy.
Also, I just noticed that technically says Super Golden Week. Because that's the super symbol.
I guess so.
Interesting. Oh. Other thing that we have to note, I'm not exactly sure where this information came from because I actually haven't seen it in the news. But apparently on the 1st of May, there's going to be a new banner to commemorate the new era in Japan.
Oh, I know. I think I know where it says that.
Oh, you do? Okay. Hit me up with that.
Yeah, on the right, go back to the whole list of campaign things.
Mm-hmm.
It says right here, furthermore, 5-1, we are planning to hold a special gotcha to commemorate the new era from Water.
Okay, there it is, yeah.
What?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you, Google.
But this is not something like, well, I mean, it's Dokkan related because it's talking about Dokkan, but when they say a new era, they're not talking about something in Dokkan, even though that's sort of ironically the topic of this video. But no, a new era in Japan. So, like, I guess you could sort of compare it to, I mean, I don't know if Japan does the whole centuries thing, right? Like, we sort of like to kind of separate our time into centuries here in the States, right? We're like, you know, the 80s and the 90s and the 2010s and the 2000s, right? They like to do eras, which is basically just the time that a certain person is the emperor. That's like an era, basically, which I guess kind of makes sense. But the new era was announced, I think that was last month, for Japan. So I guess they're having a banner celebrating it. We have no idea what it's going to be. Most people are assuming that it's not going to be anything new, that it's going to be either something reminiscent of the New Year banner or, you know, something reminiscent of the banner that we got a while ago. Not like the Wish banner in how the Wish banner was, but like the Wish banner in it's a bunch of good units featured on it. So we'll see. We'll see what comes to that. I'm honestly hoping that it's nothing new because we've already gotten so much new stuff. We really don't, like, in terms of units, we don't really need anything. Nonetheless, though, we move on. Basically, after that, everything went live. Nothing too big to talk about there. Just make sure as well, if you do get your Bluestone, you use it. I actually have not used it yet. I probably should. But just make sure that you do it. Also the story event for the Gohan story went live. That's interesting.
Yeah, those came out of nowhere, honestly.
Yeah, that is a little weird. Also, let's talk about this too. There is no campaign for it. But they did update the LR Goku event as well. So now that stage has a boost, right? Because Vegeta has a boost with with Goku's lineage.
So this means every Prime battle now has a boost.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty cool.
Very nice.
I definitely think that's a nice quality of life update, and it's certainly a lot nicer to have this than do it regularly. I mean, I remember doing this naturally when the LR Goku campaign was initially out a long time ago, right? It was a struggle. It was really rough. That's all I did in Dokkan for like literally 2 weeks. It was pretty awful. Even on vacation, I was still doing it. It was pretty bad. Because I wanted to get it done before it ended. But nonetheless, though, cool that finally got that. The Shadow Dragon Saga event came back?
I guess so.
Alright, cool. The Goku Junior event came back. Always nice to see that. Um, the Golden Week. So what I believe the Gotenks missions is technically for like the holidays during Golden Week, and then the
Yeah, basically,
Golden Week missions are for Golden Week.
basically, Gotenks is every day. There's special missions. Like it's basically another set of dailies in a
Right.
way.
Well, because that's the whole thing with Golden Week.
Yeah,
The whole thing with Golden Week is that in Japan, it's a bunch of holidays all in a row.
yeah.
That's like why they call it that. And the last thing too we have on the old JP list here is that we did get top grossing for Trunks and Zamasu
Hey,
already as well. It's only been 2 days. We
hopefully,
will,
hope for another top growth
yes,
for the nice 100 stones.
we most certainly will be getting that 100 stones at some point. It's only a matter of waiting now. This was for the App Store, so we'll see when the time comes for that. I'm sure
Wait,
it'll
does it
be
say
soon.
in the?
No,
Oh,
it was the App Store. I saw people on Twitter talking about it.
oh, okay.
There's also a website where you can apparently look at it, which is pretty cool.
Interesting.
Nonetheless, though, that's all I got for JP. Also, of course, like as usual, a bunch of orbs came with that and whatnot.
Yeah.
But Kayvon, now you are up.
Global time.
Dun 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 dun.
Discord, you good? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Alright, so update 4.2.2 release incoming. That's what we're starting with. So that I will go check what that's about in a second, once I get to that. The girl power summon went live with the awakening for STR Chi-Chi and Tech Bola. So very nice. And with that came the Magical Girl Fighter event back. The Otherworld event came back, which was interesting. There was a funny issue with update 4.2.2 where their text would be longer than the text boxes. So they would overflow out and it'll be fixed in a future update, but nothing game breaking, just kind of funny, so I'll let it slide. Update 4.2.2 launched, and this brought the updated character list, essentially, like how the card looks, where they color coded the HP attack and defense. Still looks weird. And changed, like, they could scrolling and all that. And you can also, what was it? I can't talk. Wow, I'm lost after the recording of the other part. My bad.
Lost in the sauce.
Yep. So you can click the detail list to bring it up how it used to be, or just scroll through it now. And along with that, they changed Tech Godku Super to a regular Super and not key based, and they also added Blue Evo back to Vegeta's family because he had too many categories, and now he has enough.
He wasn't on it?
Okay, so basically, because Global got Vegeta's family early, and before, remember before the update, a unit can only have 6 slots for categories?
Right.
Blue Evo already had 6 categories.
Oh.
They couldn't fit Vegeta's family.
Interesting.
So he wasn't on the category. It was weird. So anywho, that released, and what is this? Yes, the Guardian issue. For whatever reason, after the update, people were able to awaken the Int Super Trunks. That was actually going to awaken a little while after due to World Tournament coming out. And he was completely unfinished, so they quickly patched that one up, thankfully. And then we got a server maintenance announcement from the 24th to the 25th. Oh boy, long maintenance. The new Ultimate Clash arrived.
You mean Battlefield?
Virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash. Get it right, nerd.
Well, trash.
Nothing new added, I think. I didn't even think it added any more Metacores because you can get them all. But anyways, more Battlefield memory, I guess. More stones. And then the Weekend Summon got updated.
Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of your voice.
So this didn't happen on JP, but this happened for the last week because there was 3 weeks. You get 10 tickets per week. anybody who did not save the first 20 tickets got shafted, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the last week, it became a double rate spanner.
That's
It
literally
hurts.
dumb.
It hurts very much, but for the last 10 tickets, you got to splurge them on 20% SSR rates. Woo.
But if you didn't spend them, then you could have had double rate for the whole time. But
Yeah.
why would anyone expect that?
Which is now with this, I would not be surprised if they pull this during fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
And during like the last week or something, make it a double rate banner.
Yeah, I would say
So I
going
would recommend
forward,
everyone
yeah,
save your tickets till the last day.
save.
Because
That's
you
what
never
I'm
know
recommending
that
too.
this makes know that they can pull Sully. This didn't even happen on JP, so this could be something they do start doing on Global or something.
Kind of glad it didn't, to be honest with you.
JP players, keep your eyes out too when it comes to tickets also.
Yeah.
Never know. We got the Fidel's Flying Technique tutorial arriving on Global.
Huh? I know, the flying event.
Yeah. Flying Technique tutorial.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so long, but...
Yes,
and we have Int Black teased his Dokkan event. And a few... like 2 days later, we have the Future Showdown special campaign, which missed the opportunity of giving us the LR Trunks campaign, but anyhow. We got the login bonus, some special missions, a normal Dragonstone sale, Int Black's banner, which was completely unchanged, which is funny because we just had it in the form of Vegeta, the Time Travelers category banner, the Dokkan event going live along with the Videl event.
Real quick, just to cut you off for 1 sec. Y'all, I know it should be obvious by this point. Don't summon on Black's banner.
Don't summon. He's on the News a Mouse banner on JP.
And like the rest of his cards are on upcoming banners.
Not really,
Most
actually.
well, what's on it's what? Full Power 4 Coup, Future Gohan's on this banner.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, Future Gohan is on banner.
Yeah.
So you're saying 3 Bardock is not on, though.
Wasn't he just on a banner on Global, though?
I mean, yeah, all Vegeta banner, all these guys were just on a banner.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean. Well, yeah, then why are you summoning? Then why are you even summoning if they were just on Vegeta too?
Well, I mean, maybe people couldn't pull them. You never know. But...
well, then I don't know, man.
Anyhow, the risk, the benefit does not outweigh the risk in this. So I would just save. If you already haven't, then rip you, I guess.
Oof.
We have the all the future events essentially came back. Raditz came back. Bardock. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta's finally easy 8 on Global. Thank you. More 30 more stones. Woo. Extreme Z Battle Challenge back. Woo. Super Saiyan 3 category. Gotcha banner. I don't know why I said gotcha banner. Why? The ECA will go live in 2 days from now. Cool. And a new world tournament bringing the boy LR Yamcha.
Yes, finally Global's getting him. And a new 18 as well.
Yeah, the one that JP got.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Weird. Anyhow, oh boy, world tournament support pack. Yay.
Why do you always do this, Global? Please.
We have some GT events coming out, like, after this event ends, weirdly enough. Essentially. Oh boy, Rabbit Mob.
Tasty.
But yeah, so that's the main celebration. I would like to point out the thanks to some data miners, we figured out that Global will be getting the stones that the thing that JP is going to get too on the 9th for like Goku Day. We're getting like 13, 14, and 14 stones or something. Global is also going to be getting that, and with this, people have begun theorizing, and there is some very nice backup to it, that on the 9th, Global will be getting the Dokkan Fest Kid Goku. And I could definitely see it, because 5-9 is Goku Day, obviously.
Right.
And he has a lot of 9s in his passive. 59, stuff like that.
Right.
So it definitely aligns, and I'm pretty sure Akatsuki will take the chance. But then again, they missed the LR Trunks campaign for the Future Showdown, so I don't know anymore. And last but not least, there was a glitch with the growth packs, apparently. the rank 75 and 125 growth pack are unavailable due to something being incorrect.
Well,
I don't know.
even the bad ones are still. Or what was I gonna say? Even the bad things have glitches. That's what I meant to say.
Yep. But anyhow, that's it for global stuff.
That was quick.
Thank you, Dokkan.
Well, thank you indeed, Dokkan.
More time for us to talk with the boy.
Yes, this is going to be a very long episode.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, though, hope you got yourself informed, caught up, gamerified on that young news.
Gamers.
Gamer! But anyway, we'll be back after this. I was going to say sponsored message, but it's not really sponsored, but kind of sponsored because it's a YouTube
it's
ad.
It's an obligatory message.
Yes.
You have to watch.
Hey, this is K-Von's will, not mine. I'm not telling you nothing.
If you skip, the video will explode.
Oh my gosh. Yo,
your monitor will explode. Bite the
Oh no. Obligatory, how does King Crimson work?
How does it work? Anyhow.
We'll be back after this ad. And welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that ad.
We don't hope you. We better have enjoyed that ad.
Every time.
Demand you enjoy that.
We demand. You do not have a choice. But anyway, exactly. We are back. And we have a guest. Once again, our first returning guest actually on the podcast, which is pretty cool. My man, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Goresh here. Glad to be back.
Hey.
And here to discuss some interesting things.
Interesting things indeed. I've kind of already gone off on a rant about this, but I wanted to sort of talk about it now. I'm a little bit more zen. You know what I mean? Because like when we were going over this zen stuff initially, not zen, not that kind of zen. We were wilding a little bit. I mean, when are we not? But like, you know,
fair.
Now we can have a better discussion about it. And as well, the other reason why we bought, besides the fact that, you know, he's Goresh.
We bought him.
No, I said bought. Oh, chill, pause.
I'll get paid enough for this.
But you don't get paid at all.
Wait, we weren't going to pay you at all.
Got him.
Anyway, because Goresh has already done a discussion video on a similar topic to this, with the boys, The Truth and D Free, talking about the new units. So we wanted to bring him on here and sort of share our opinions and have him share his and whatever. We're kind of going to put a little bit of a different spin on it. I mean, you've already read the title, I'm sure, by this point. Has Dokkan entered a new meta?
If people read the title as much as they read in-game news.
Oof, calling him out. Yo, chill, relax.
Got him.
But yeah, so we're talking about how Has Dokkan entered a new meta. And we're sort of kind of bringing this up because before is a lot more clear cut, and I think you two can agree, right? It was, you know, the original leaders with the flat boost, and then we had the 70% leads, and then the 120 leads, and then the single category leads, and then dual category leads. And then now we're sort of in this gray area where it's like, well, where is the next sort of meta, right? And some people might even argue that STR Gogeta, you know, kind of would be in competition to have his own meta named after him. But for the sake of it, we're going to kind of, you know, keep with a bunch of leaders. So what do you guys think? You can talk amongst yourself. Who's going to go first?
I'd say let our guest take it away first.
Go for it.
All right, so I guess in terms of whether or not we've moved into a new meta or not, the first step is to determine like what is a meta in this game.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure because there's two factors that go into it. The first is like what are the leader skills like, because that's like the most important thing that goes into deciding how powerful your teams are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the first sort of element of the game, and then the second one is like how hard are the events or how difficult are the events. And I think like every time we've entered a new meta in the game, we've seen an increase in difficulty for the events. Like, you know, we went from Z hard to super, then to super 2, and
right.
we sort of just stayed at super 2 for forever.
Too long.
It's
Yeah.
been how many years? Like 3 years now.
Yeah, since the Super Saiyan 4, the original Super Saiyan 4.
Really?
If
It's
you were in
been
Super
that
2.
long?
I think,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
My
crazy.
favorite.
So yeah, at this point, we have like we're getting units that are just power creeping each other like continuously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the difficulty and events aren't going up that much.
Right. Definitely.
So I don't know if I would say it's a new meta or not. I would just say that it's just power creep more
Yeah.
than a new meta.
Okay.
But I don't know, because in terms of like the new units that have come out, like Kale and Khalifa is stupid,
Right.
and like
Oh boy.
I don't know, because the new Zamasu and Trunks, like it's not only their first part of their leader skill, like where it's 170% the future, which is okay, but 170% attack for Realm of Gods is like huge. Plus
Right.
they have 120% to extreme and super
Yeah,
type.
they straight up
Right.
power crept the transform freezing Goku, basically.
Yeah, like they have better leader skills than the transforming Vegeta does, and he had like an insane leader skill,
Mhm.
and like that was like 2 months ago, and he's already like
Yeah.
Yeah.
his leader skills
Yeah,
are
you're right,
not even like comparable anymore.
Yeah, I didn't think about that actually. They pretty much do have just a better leader skill of Vegeta.
Yeah, but I mean the Pure Saiyans is pretty good, but still like the 100%.
You're saying it's at a 150, but
Yeah, but I mean I don't know. It keeps getting like worse and worse.
See.
Like I was mentioning this in my video.
Yeah.
But if you look at like the overall difficulty of events, like
Mhm.
since the beginning of the game, it like the angle at which it's like the line goes up.
Right.
Is, like,
I saw that graph. Yeah.
Is like very like flat almost.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the power level of units that come out is like really steep, like steeply going upward.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the difference in the space between those two lines keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like at what point are they gonna start to like increase the difficulty of all the events that the units don't just continuously power keep each other to a point where the game's like becomes like laughably easy, which you could argue it's already at that point. But
Right. And the other thing is too, like, really the only place now that these really powerful units like matter for how powerful they are is Super Battle Road. And even there, I could say that, you know, we've almost gotten to the point where even the category Super Battle Roads have been power creeped in some cases. Like Peppy Gals, for a great example, with this new Kale and Khalifa, like, done.
yeah, that's fair.
It's so easy, right?
if you remember when those category Super Battle Road stages first released, they were like pretty difficult. Even if you had like full like rainbow teams for every category, you'd still have to like use full items, and you'd like transform with like your LR Vegetas and Gogetas, and you'd still like barely live.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, let me just take my my rainbowed LR. I mean, I'm not saying everybody has access to these units, because like I'm just saying like with the units that have come out, like this is what they can do.
Right.
Like if you had like a rainbowed LR Kale and Khalifa, they could literally like I wouldn't be surprised if you could no item like all of their stages that they could participate in.
I would not be either. Yeah.
And like even with this new Zamasu too, like I don't know, like he just like the Realm of Gods team is just actually I think one of the best teams in the game, like top 2 if not even the best. It's just really dumb.
Who would be above that?
I mean, you have so Realm of Gods, you have Pure Saiyan, the Vegeta leader, the Pure Saiyans leader. Then you have Joint Forces.
Yeah,
I
Joint
think
Forces
maybe-
is really good.
Those might be the top 3 right now.
Okay. I can
It's tough
agree
to
with that.
say.
But if we're talking about the Reddit, they probably still think Representatives Universe 7 is still the best team.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd agree with that.
I don't
you need
think
to
I
have
would
like,
either.
yeah, if you like super with Tien as the first attacker every round, and then have the LR Goku and Frieza like do their Ultra Super every round, then maybe they'll do the most damage. But I don't. It's definitely not the best team. In my
Right.
opinion.
And, you know, there's tons of different factors that go into it when you're playing an event. Sometimes key isn't
Definitely.
good. Sometimes
Yeah.
the event does, you know, whatever shenanigan. But, see, I agree with you on some points, but I do still kind of feel like we've entered into a new meta, because in the same way that, you know, granted, of course, I mean, like, you can't deny that events are not getting, you know, or not getting harder. There we go. I was about to say not getting easier. Whoa, chill. You know, I almost feel like that the metas have kind of been defined by the leaders in them rather than the events. I see where you're kind of come from as like the events and the units in them. But at the same time, right? Like for the change into like from 70 or what was it? From was it the original leaders to 70%? There wasn't the difficulty in stage didn't change, or was it 70 to 120? I think it was the original to 70.
I think they was that when we got Super. I don't know. It was whenever the original Super Vegeta came out.
Because then what about, like, Gogeta, right? He could raffle stomp any... Wow, that's a word I haven't said in a long time. He could raffle stomp any event in the game when he came out.
Yeah, no, I think it was the original hardest stage was Z Hard, when you had Strength Gogeta, and then I think when Super Vegeta came out, they introduced Super stages. And then when the Super Saiyan 4s came out, there was Super 2, and then literally there has not been a better harder... I mean, there's Super 3, but that's, like, exclusive to...
Yeah, it's just
boss
SPR,
rush.
right? Oh no, it's boss. Oh.
Yeah, and boss.
Yeah, and it's-
Pay attention.
What is because Super Battle Road is Super 4.
Is there even a Super 4?
I don't think so.
know.
Let me double check. I'll check on my phone right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
But either way, though, despite the the technicality of the meta term itself, right? Definitely in terms of cards, I would say, like, because, and I know you were talking about this, and I think this was a great point to bring up. It really does feel like these units are from, like, a couple years in the future. It like definitely the LRs and the SSRs that came, or the LRs, the LR and the SSRs that came out with them. Trunks and Zamasu even seem a little bit too powerful to come out now, to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Zamasu's better than. I mean, like you could find uses for Trunks that will make him look better than Zamasu, but I think overall, like Zamasu's leader skill is actually like just like it. I was so surprised when I saw that when the info dropped. I was not expecting him to be a Realm of Gods 170 and Extreme 120.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
I mean, if he was just like Realm of God, like I could see him maybe being a Patara and Realm of Gods. That would have been less good than what he is right now, because a lot of the units.
Turtle was on Realm of Gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, Turles, Kid Buu, like Janemba.
Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah, because that's what makes it so
like
good.
I don't like Thought Nemba on that team.
That's what makes
like
that so
Dragon
good.
Ball Super Broly, like LR Cell, like there's a million things you could just put on there, and it's good.
Yo,
no matter
LR
what.
Cell.
We don't like LR Cell.
This is an LR Cell free podcast.
Oof. Personal vendettas aside, though, I mean, like, even going back to those SSRs, like that, Kale is pretty good, but that Caulifla is crazy to me. Like, the fact that they made a unit that, granted, doesn't have complete guaranteed dodge all the time, but basically has guaranteed dodge, right? I mean, obviously, when they're facing Pure Saiyans in Universe Survival Saga, they dodge. But, which, granted, it's like, what, 60% of the game is Pure Saiyans anyway, maybe even 80. But then you have, like, if you have the right units on the team for the category that supports them, they dodge, what, something like 80% of the time or something like that? I think it's like some odd number, like 82, something like that.
Wait, who are you talking about? Kale and Caulifla?
Yeah, no. Caulifla, the SSR specifically.
Yeah, she gets like 80-something% dodge.
Right.
Like she has a full team of whatever that passive is.
Maybe this is just an unpopular opinion, but I don't see I get it, but I don't see like the big deal with the 100% dodge chance against the enemies.
Okay, so like, not to bring up Big Daddy Truth again, but
oh boy,
he made a good point in saying that, like, and kind of made a good example of it, that you don't even really need to run them, like, on their own team if you're trying to work around, like for example, right, he brought her to the EZA stage for Goku, right, just so that so that it's a Pure Saiyan, but like that's just free no hits basically, like.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, she's not doing anything besides dodging.
Yeah,
she's not putting anything into the team besides making you not get hit.
Yeah, but think about it like this. So the three, like, I mean, no one cares about like that, like in the potential system, like the extra damage you do against like other
Yeah, like
enemies
the
or
type
whatever.
attack bonus or whatever.
Yes, yeah, the three like big things are dodge, crit, and additional.
Yeah.
But if a unit has a 100% chance to do an additional, it wouldn't be like game breaking. If a unit has a 100% chance to crit, that would be really good, but it wouldn't be like as good as a 100% chance to dodge. Can you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, I get that, but I think it's the fact like, granted, I haven't seen showcases. That's on me. But like, if you have a unit that's guaranteed, say it's like, if the dead Yamcha had a 100% chance to dodge, but he still did zero damage, would you still run him?
Uh, if it was an event that would one shot you, like,
Yeah,
or that did like a billion damage, like an EZA event, I would.
I can agree with that.
It's basically like the AGL Golden Frieza with his passive always active.
And it's like, think about this too, right? Like with UI Goku before, everyone is like, oh, that event is super scary and also is like, the hardest event in the game. And granted, is still one of the hardest for certain. But if you have Caulifla on that stage where, he hits you with that young Genki Dama, there's no challenge there. You don't have to use your, item, or you don't, if you forget one, you're not, up a creek. It's just, the free dub, basically.
Or think about it like this. Think about it like this. If every unit on your team had a 100% chance to crit, that would be good. If every unit on your team had a 100% chance to perform an additional, that would be good. But if every unit on your team had a 100% chance to dodge, like, you would literally be invincible.
True.
So
well, I guess, yeah. That's fair.
I mean, that's just like, I think it's not realistic, but like that just shows you how like OP dodging is in Dokkan. Like you literally just cannot be hit. Like that. Like if someone said that to me like 3 years ago, like in the during the before the first year anniversary on Global, I would just be like, this can't be in the game. It's too powerful.
Yeah, and like here, think about it like this too, right? Like with how powerful some of these units are, with this power creep. I mean, we have like, Kale and Caulifla out here, wilding out just 5 million casually, right? If you have, them on rotation with that Caulifla, right? And just another powerful unit that would fit on the team, you could basically just, if the enemy's attacking a lot in the first slot, dodge all that with Caulifla and take them out in one hit with the rest of your units, and you didn't take damage. You didn't even have a chance to take damage.
Yeah.
So
and they're SSRs too.
Right, yeah. And they're SSRs. That's what's even crazier. They could still Dokkan and be even more busted.
Yeah,
I guess I feel like because the events aren't, like, there are not really much events in the game that need 100% dodge chance, so to me it just doesn't seem anything like revolutionary.
Yeah, no,
like, most normals you get hit for like, what, 50 damage either way?
But that plays into our point, I think, when we say that they're like so far ahead of their time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's a fair point.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, because I used to think that the Dragon Ball Heroes units were like the best SSRs in the game, but now like it's not even close. Like the Xeno Goku that you could get from the Heroes banner. I thought he was like really good for an SSR.
Yeah, I think
I thought he was probably the best SSR in the game, but not anymore.
Like just natural SSR.
Yeah, like that can't awaken.
Okay.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, fair enough. I do have a little bit of bias concerning its heroes, but I do definitely think I can agree with that. But yeah, like that's what's just so crazy to me. It really does feel like, but I do feel like that sort of I don't know, maybe that just sort of validates our arguments in the way of the new meta, because it's almost like they're skipping ahead of the meta of events, right? And giving us a new meta of units. Right?
Yeah, but do we need that right now?
No, definitely not.
I feel like more so than like saying, "Oh, is it a new meta or not?" It's the more important thing to discuss would be like, is it necessary to have a new meta right now?
True. And
because the events are so easy. Like you could, so I just like started playing my JP account a little bit. And I literally have like terrible, like not terrible units, but like unawakened like units, and I'm like no iteming like recent Dokkan events. Like I was playing I managed to pull the LR Khalifa and Kale, and I was going through the hit Dokkan event because I need the medals.
Right.
And I was just like destroying it with like unawakened SSRs, and I was just like, this is so stupid. I didn't even need to use items.
You
I don't
no
know.
item
No,
this? Dang.
Speaking
I
of
was-
Has Dokkan, go ahead. I'll bring in some.
No, I was just not using items, and I was just like destroying the event. Like I wasn't even looking, and I was just beating it. Like it's such a joke, and it's so sad because like back like in the early days of the game, you would actually needed to like pay attention and strategize, create
Right.
teams that
It
were
used to be hard.
optimal and whatever.
I know that's part of your favorite part of the game is team building.
Yeah,
No. I think more events need to be like hits.
Why do you say that?
You try bringing Tech Khalifa to hit stage, see what happens.
yeah, nullifying certain abilities.
No dodging.
I do
Yeah.
agree. I think that
Like, and
because I do think that that's a good way. Real quick, before
Yeah.
Ian, you continue. Just I think one good way for them to improve events is because a lot of people agree that sort of like the artificial damage that Super Battle Road brings is not necessarily the best thing for Dokkan events. But I do think that gimmicks are great. Like hit or like Broly. He lowers your defense and you're getting hit for like 200k on a super, and you're like, whoa, chill, my dude, right?
Yeah. I think it's like Battlefield. Like a lot of the Battlefield bosses
Yeah.
have like those sorts of abilities.
If Dokkan events were more like Battlefield, okay, I'm not talking about Great Saiyaman one-shotting you with a single attack.
Yeah, that's
Let's keep
stupid.
that far away from
Yeah.
any Dokkan event, please.
Big dumb.
UI Go Guardi gives me PTSD with that Spirit Bomb.
BTSD.
I think
Yeah,
like I don't know, like maybe if you give each event some sort of like like ability that is like unique to that event, like I don't know, like the
Like hit with how he disables dodge or like Zamasu.
yeah, but
like
I'm thinking
when it was
I'm
the
thinking,
first.
I'm thinking more like the Zamasu event, like in Battlefield, where he like just constantly heals over and over again. So like you need to bring somebody who could stun, and he's not immune to stuns or something
Yeah.
like that.
See,
I don't know.
But not
I
to the
think-
point of Super Boo. Please.
Yeah.
what you mean Kid Buu? Oh no, it's Super Buu as in the Dokkan. Okay,
Yes.
please no. Still one of the most annoying events.
Yeah.
I feel like with the new events, like if we're talking about difficulty in events, I feel like they should have done something with Zamasu, like some algorithm or something in the code that makes him like more like likely to super the same unit twice.
And we were talking about this before. Yeah, continue. This is a good
Yeah,
idea.
because the reason why people still right now say that the new Dragon Ball Super Broly is one of the harder events of the game is because if he supers, he just flattens your defense.
Right.
Yeah, the bad part is if he supers you, and then he also attacks the same unit
Exactly,
again.
but think about it this way: if Zamasu supered you, lowered your defense massively, and then supered again,
Yeah, you'd be dead.
like I feel like, and then you could have a mechanic where like you need to stun him or seal him. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that would have made like sure it wouldn't be difficult if you were prepared, but if you weren't, two supers and like you're getting hit for 400k or something.
And that
Because you
also
have, like,
causes
zero
you to strategize.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like with the trunks or something, like I saw like when Theo was doing his live stream, like he had the countdown thing that the int one had when he like was
Yeah,
more
does
recent
the,
thing,
does
but
the
he
spirit
had like
sword,
the
yeah.
8. Yeah, but he had like the 8 health bar, so he had to drain a thing. But like
Yeah, it's like the full
If-
power Frieza event.
if he counted down quicker or something, like say first turn he already was down to like 1, and the next attack he would launch the spirit sword, you'd have to
Yeah.
like stun or seal him to like stop it or
Yeah,
use an
that's
item.
That's exactly like the full power Frieza event because he could actually count down to 1 in the first turn.
Yeah, but he doesn't have enough health to live. Is the problem?
No, but back in the day, it was not
Oh, yeah,
an
back
easy
in the day.
thing. Because
But if
they
they-
actually released that event on Global before Gogeta came out, and he was
Oh,
like,
yeah, I heard about that.
the unit that you needed to beat that event. So I mean, I had just started when that event was like pretty new, and I struggled with that a lot.
Yeah, but if they just did something like that with the events, like add like an element of like literally an element of strategy. You need to do a certain like for example like Andrew like the Ranger 17's event. One of the stages you can't use key based supers.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like if you bring a whole team with just key based supers and forget that, you're just gonna be sitting there waiting for the Dokkan mode.
True.
I have noticed that a lot of Dokkan events, though, like there was a period of like maybe 5-6 months where all the events that they released were immune to attack lowering and stunning and stuff, and like basically immune to everything. But I think they decided that wasn't really good, so they stopped
Yeah,
doing that because a
it's
lot of the
not,
newer
because
events you could actually lower their attack
there's
and
more
stuff like
reason,
that.
like more units have benefit. Like Elargong and Frieza, if you lower their attack, they do more
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm thinking there's I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but you get my
Well,
point.
it's like with Jiren with stunning, like you can't stun like any
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, getting essentially 200% attack up on super if the enemy is stunned.
Yeah, hit's basically useless in anything that's not Super Battle Road, I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't
that's
say
not
useless.
true,
He
but
still does amazing damage, but the second part of his passive most of the time is useless.
Also, though,
sucks.
don't you think having those things there, despite them hurting a lot of your units, is a good thing because that does make it more difficult?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so we were saying, like a lot of stages you can't stun, right?
Mhm.
And then it's like, well, then, what's the point of bringing my Jiren unit because then he can't stun? Or, like Goku and Frieza, the attack lowering is not, or attack and defense lowering is nullified, right? But doesn't that just make the event more difficult and kind of what we're looking for, as opposed to, like hurting you as a player? Doesn't it cause you to strategize more and be like, okay, well, maybe I don't bring these guys?
yeah, but it's like it makes it more difficult, but in a sense because you can't bring certain units. But I mean, you can still bring them, but they won't like be as useful. But it's like they're dumbing it down to a level where it's like, okay, you just brute force your way through the event.
Exactly.
And
the problem is
like,
just
not
it's
how
just
I like
big,
to play.
It's just big damage, and I would like more events that like if I like. That's why I like Battlefield to an extent. Like as much as I hate Zamasu with a passion, with him healing 30 million per turn.
Yeah.
Like I like the idea. Like you have to stun him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that idea. Well, not in that not that drastically, but I like the idea. Like you have to do something. It's like with Super Bomb Goku in the US event, you have to use a Ghost Dash, or you have to hope you Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta counters, which he doesn't have to do.
or you seal him.
Yeah, or seal him. Yeah.
What are you saying, by the way? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, I was just saying like those limitations make the events harder artificially, but it's not.
That's true.
It's not like it's basically like the Super Battle Road effect where all the enemies are just like super powerful and take no damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and have a lot of health.
Fair enough. But I was gonna say no, go ahead.
It doesn't like create new ways to play the game.
It's the
same thing.
See, yeah,
so,
that's definitely
like the last stage of like I don't know, the last stage of the Super Vegito, the LR Super Vegito event, and the last stage of the LR Super Gogeta event. It's literally the same thing. Their types are just different.
Yeah.
Heck, the whole event's the same thing. It's just their types are different.
Yeah.
Basically,
I mean, they might as well have just copied and pasted the two events up and changed the art and changed the types, and that's it. They're done.
See, something I liked, like way back when they released Tech VB and STR Rose, you could I forget which one is which. I might get it wrong, but you could seal Rose, but he couldn't be stunned. Mm-hmm. But you can stun VB, but you can't seal him. I like that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I remember that. You could stun.
That Rose. I like that sort of mechanic. Like one you could do one thing, the other you couldn't.
Uh-huh.
I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like there needs to be more variety. Just throwing my units at a wall until it breaks.
Yeah.
It's just
or maybe they could do stuff like the unit or the enemy is stunnable and he takes more damage while being stunned, but he takes less damage while not being stunned or something like that.
That could be cool.
That's cool.
Destroy that event.
Yeah, or there's an enemy that takes 50% less damage while not being sealed, but takes 50% more damage while being sealed.
Or if worse comes to worse, remember STR Omega and Fizz Omega? How stupid their events were because you needed GT to do real damage?
Yeah, Fizz Omega's event's still really one of the hardest events.
Yeah, if they brought that back, say, trying to think of an example, a new Super Saiyan 4 LR Gogeta or something that's Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta fusing.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a link skill, if they need the link skill Shadow Dragons active to really do damage to them. I'm not talking about boosting the damage to 9 million on an active skill. I'm saying something they take less than 500k per super from a Rainbowed LR, unless they have the Shadow Dragon link skill active.
But the other thing too with the Omega event that I do get why people say it's really difficult, but at the same time you just use a Sensu bean and you win.
Well, it's not just that. I feel
it's
he
damage
also
reduction.
Yeah, he takes no damage.
Unless you have the GT active,
that is true.
Taking much.
Yeah, but then you just bring GT though.
Yeah, but the problem, see, that's the issue. The problem with the Omega event is that if you have the GT active, the GT link active, you do way too much damage.
Right.
I'm talking about an example if you had in the example I said, if you have the Shadow Dragon link active, you're just doing regular damage.
It's the
Okay.
famous,
I like
it's the
that.
famous instance of where people are like, "Oh my god, Super Saiyan 4 Goku's so OP! Look how much damage he did." It's like,
Yeah.
where's the Omega event? He did like 20 million.
Yeah.
I know. Or like using the active skill of like LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
like if he crits, it's like 30 million damage. Oh my god.
yeah, it's like, okay, well, you know what event you're doing.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not right. It's artificial damage, basically.
Exactly.
Right. I do think though, I will say, despite the way of the events of like not stunning and sealing, and that sort of thing, like despite it being sort of artificial difficulty, I will say I do think that the only reason why it's good is because then it does make you strategize in terms of what teams that you need to build. Like, then you have to actually like are like, all right, well, these units that I would usually use, maybe I can't use them. But then again, it's still, the whole problem with the difficulty in the event itself. But I just thought I'd throw that point in there.
See, if anything, if I feel like there could be a good middle ground, like instead of a boss being immune to stun or sealing, just have them be resistant to it.
You like a percent chance to resist it.
Yeah,
like
like say like if a unit has a 100% chance to seal, which most do, unless you Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, but
Right.
make it so that they're like immune, like not immunity, they're what's a good word? Like
Resistance?
yeah, I just said it. Wow, they're like resistant to it. Cuts the percentage in half, so like they only have a 50% chance to seal.
See, I do think, and I know you brought this point up to me, Kayvon. I don't know if you've heard people talk about this, Goresh, but I do feel like that the boost mechanic was a big missed opportunity.
Oh yeah.
And granted, when we were talking about this, we didn't really know how it worked. I do think they kind of balanced it pretty well with, you can only do it 3 times and it resets like every 8 hours for the 3 times that you do it. But,
no, it's only one reset per 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what yeah. You know what I meant.
Okay, I thought you meant like all 3 reset per 8 hours, which I would have liked personally, but
Right.
yeah.
Either way, though, if it was like an unlimited thing or, less restricted than it is now, it would have been a great opportunity for, you get a bigger boost and maybe more medals, but the event would be more difficult. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people wanted that when they first like dropped that info, and I mean,
they dropped the ball.
well, but even more than that, I think that even if they didn't like give more rewards than they are right now for the boosts, I would just take increased difficulty on the events just for like as like without wanting anything.
No, I agree with you.
I just want the harder events.
No, I agree. I'm just saying for the sake of like, the mechanic being announced, it's like, oh, this is our chance, and then it's like, nope.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't know why they didn't. I mean, they must know that we all want it,
right?
And I don't know why they're not.
Because like that's what's so crazy to me. Like, well, they always listen to the JP player fan base. I mean, heck, we've gotten like well, not me. I mean, like just in general, right? Units have been changed in the past because people complained, right? And I know that there's something that the JP player base is complaining about now that might end up getting changed.
Yeah, it's actually, I saw a lot of people complaining about like the lack of stuff to do for Golden Week when the campaign info dropped. People were really upset because there was like no event. I mean, they have like obviously the new Dokkan events for the Zamasu, but there's no Super Battle Road stage. I don't remember when we got the category ones.
I think it was during 30. No, 30. I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but
it was
they were.
We're way overdue for more.
Everyone's asking for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like a new. I don't know. I think we need a new event, like not just more stages for Super Battle. I mean, new stages for Super Battle would be cool, but I don't know. I think we just need a new kind of event. That's not Battlefield and that's not Super Battle Road.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, because they surely know that we want it. I mean, the English and Japanese communities I know have been talking about wanting harder events for a while. But the other thing is, right, with you saying that new event, despite how much flack OG Battlefield got, at least it was something different. I definitely think...
Yeah.
If
I
it was
really like that.
Yeah, I liked it. I just thought it was a little bit tedious and slow. If they would have, I think, sped it up a little bit, and not made it as well. I mean, I guess just tedious, to use the word again. it would have been better. But it was really unique. It was really cool.
Yeah, well, I think the problem when they first released that like V1 of Battlefield,
Yeah.
it was like an alpha.
That is
It
true.
was like in the alpha stage, but and they also the other problem was it was super limited in how many times you could actually play it a day.
Yeah,
It was
I
like
heard about
5,
that.
I
That was
think.
the main issue.
I don't know. I personally never played it, but like it seems so cool at
Oh,
the
I
time.
played it. Yeah.
And
I mean, Global couldn't play it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But I don't know. I feel like there was a disconnect between like the developers and what the people were saying, like the players were saying, because I think most of the people like they liked the event, but they didn't like how it was handled. I think the developers took that to be like, okay, the event's bad, so we're just gonna remake it, which was not the case. But
I
I
can
don't
agree
know.
with that. Yeah, I will admit I remember like I was sort of a little bit disappointed because for some reason I know I played it because I know me and my buddy who also plays JP talked about it. For some reason I remember specifically playing it in my high school bathroom, which I don't know why, but whatever. But I do remember when Battlefield 2.0 got announced being somewhat disappointed. Not that the fact that it was coming back, but they were, drastically changing it. Like I was like, oh, they're gonna update it and make the old one better and more relevant. And they're like, actually, no, it's just gonna be like the rest of the game. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was just so disappointing. And you're right, though. That's why a lot of people liked it despite its flaws, because it was something very different. And I don't know. I really do think that Dokkan needs something different besides the bubble popping, or even incorporate that in a different way. Like, I know we've been talking about PvP for years. And all different kinds of game modes, raids, all kinds of stuff like that. Like true raids, not like just like the Jiren thing where we work together toward a common goal, which is cool, but it's still not like you're not seeing it in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Something else to consider too is like if you look at V1 and V2 of Battlefield, they're completely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like why not just make them two separate modes and introduce both of them?
Ooh, I like that.
They already had like the groundwork for the first one in the game already. So
Like here,
It's true.
just release the old one and just call it Battlefield, because the new one isn't called Battlefield technically.
yeah, well on JP it is, but
Really
like,
is.
Yeah, it's
well,
called Battlefield on
It's called
JP.
V2 on JP. I think on Global it's just called.
Oh, okay. That
whatever.
makes sense actually, because
Yeah.
Global doesn't actually have. Never got. Okay, that makes sense. I actually never knew that.
Yeah,
Hmm,
I
you
mean,
know.
it's just like it just seems like
Just
such a
switch
waste
around.
to just scrap something that I don't know. Obviously they were working hard on it because they
Yeah.
they were testing it among the player base, which is they've never done that before.
Right. Before
So, I don't
that,
know.
yeah. Or after, for that matter.
Yeah, they have or since. Yeah, they've never. I mean, it was cool at the time. I wish they would actually do that more if they were creating a new event. Like,
Yeah.
has to be like this is what we're thinking about releasing. Like, do you guys like this sort of event or not? And then we could just
Yeah.
test it and tell them.
And it's so unfortunate too. There's not even like, a way that like I don't even think like if you have a private server you can't even go back and play it. Like there's no way to go back and play even if you do some like, shenanigans, right? I don't even think there's a way to go back and play it.
Yeah, well, I don't. I mean, yeah, you wouldn't be able to use like the new units in it.
Well,
Or
yeah.
Any unit that's come out since then. When did that even come out? After the second anniversary? I think so.
Yeah. Let me think.
Because that was right when LR Gohan released.
What was second, Danny? Again, remind me.
That was Super Saiyan 4s. the
Oh,
original ones.
duh.
Yeah.
I don't think you could use the Super Saiyan 4s on it because I don't remember using them on that. But yes, I mean, obviously it was around when Gohan came out because the whole Battlefield Metal shenanigan thing.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother issue in itself. But I do think that, that could definitely be good. But anyway, we did get a little bit off track in terms of
definitely.
new events, but I definitely do think
So-
that could help
But
with the
no,
difficulty.
it
even.
plays a part into the discussion though,
Yeah.
because
Oh, on God.
the whole thing is about like if new events are considered into the discussion when talking about a new meta, and I think they are.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Speaking of new metas, I think if it's all right, may I give my opinion?
Go.
No.
All right. Wow. Okay. you made me wait all this time. Wow.
Just to deny you, yo. All right, that's it now. Go ahead.
Wow. All right. So, I like both your ideas. Like you, Theo, you think the leader skill is what defines the new meta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Goresh, you think of the events like difficulty raising defines new meta?
Well, I think both, but I think
Yeah.
you need I don't
The
know. You
events as a
need
part of
both
it, yeah.
elements to have to
Yeah.
consider it a new meta, in my
So,
opinion.
I will say, in terms of like leader skills or events, we are not in a new meta, but I feel like passive skills, how like sure it could just be called power. It could just be like you could just consider it power creep, but at the same time, it's reached like such a far level. I feel like it's just like the units just feel like too different to just be called power creep.
Yeah, you mean like the essay long passives?
Like
Yes.
for example, like Goresh, you could make a good example. Like 2 months ago or so, Transforming Vegeta came out,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like the 5-stage transformation unit, and he capped out 120% attack.
Yep.
And then Zamasu, with getting to his max form in 4 turns, gets 280% attack up.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's
That
a lot.
discrepancy is insane.
Yeah, and he gets there quicker.
Exactly. And granted,
And
Trunks
he's a
is a
better
bit
leader
different,
skill.
but
And he's a better
Yeah,
unit in every way. His links are better. I would say, actually, because he's big bad bosses, but
true. But I mean, according to the Reddit, that's never going to be active. But
yeah, okay.
anyhow.
I love that low-key resentment. Anyways,
Yeah.
go ahead, sorry.
But like, I don't know. I feel like when we like, just the fact of how the passives have become so like inflated almost. Like Eller Cleveland Kale.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Don't they do?
I don't know if you saw this guy on Twitter. He's a Japanese Twitter person.
Mhm.
He posted a joke, but it was like the passive of a unit in like 10 years for Dokkan. It was like
Yeah, it's like
it
an
had like a
essay
scrolling bar on it. It
long.
was-
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
That's funny.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's yeah. I mean, it's a joke now, but like
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have seen this like long or like
Yeah.
intricate of a passive back like during the first or second year anniversaries.
Definitely.
Because back then it was like strength Gogeta, 3,000 attack, effective against all types. That's it. Janemba
Yeah.
was like 3,000 defense, null or guard active against all
Actually,
types.
it was 7,000. Get it right.
Whatever.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, it was like one line. But this one's like actually a paragraph.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. And we thought Kefla's passive was long.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like, sure, we may not be in a new meta with leader skills necessarily, or when it comes to events, but to me, it's just the passives, how they, like, how they've been inflated so much in so little time.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, this may just be me, but ever since Fizz Broly, I think, passives have gotten, like,
Wait, which Fizz Broly?
too, Dragon Ball Super 1.
Okay, you gotta be more specific.
Fair enough, my bad. Because Fizz Broly had like 130 and then he jumped to 188%.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big number.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
then
like
even-
what, like 8 key or something?
Yeah, and even hits. Sure, you couldn't get his full thing out almost at the time, but if you did, that's 200% on Super.
Hit has a very long passive too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that itself is ridiculous. Then the LR Super Saiyan 4s came out with active skills. And then LR Cleveland Kale happened.
Yeah, I don't even want to. I don't really want to get into active skills.
Yeah, I was
Because
just gonna say-
that could take a long time to
Yeah,
talk about.
that's a
Well,
whole nother
active
video, but I do feel like,
Yeah.
just to kind of give the point, I feel like we don't even need active skills right now, but
Yeah,
because that's also part of the problem with the power creep, I feel like, but
But I
again,
will say
this stuff.
that I think the functionality of active skills acting as transformations is really cool.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, it's
I
amazing.
definitely agree. Yeah,
I want
very
more
cool.
active skills that aren't just attacks.
Yeah.
Like more stuff like B-Pan. Like remember the whole list we saw leaked during like when fourth year was coming around?
Yeah.
Like changing all orbs, like
Yeah, that one
all
is
that stuff.
dumb. That is
Like,
that changing all
giving-
orbs is literally the most broken ability I've
yeah,
ever
like give
seen in my
yourself
life.
max key or something. Like those could be fun and stupid active skills just to toy around with.
So
Like
dumb.
give that active skill to an orb changer. Change the entire field to one
Yeah.
orb.
Imagine if the new Trunks in his passive just changed all the orb, like the trans.
Oh,
See, I honestly feel the Trunks got a little like I feel like they went so far with him, but of all things to hold back, they make him only change one orb once only.
Well, he's also effective against all types.
Fair enough, you got me there, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just like of all things to like hold back on, you hold back on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He does so much, 30% attack per orb,
Yeah,
and
it's
he's effective against
crazy.
all types, and he just changes one type of orb to attack. That's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like, that's like compare him to the Int Trunks that released like 2 years ago.
Watch In Trunks be better with an EZA.
I mean, he would have a different name, so you could run both of them.
I hope he's not, but I guess I mean, we've talked about this on the podcast.
They could run them on the same team, so it wouldn't matter.
True. We have talked about this on the podcast though, but before, like how we had the original units, and then units power crept them, and then the original units power crept those units with an EZA. So then are the units that got power crept with the EZA gonna get an EZA and power crep the units that got an EZA with their EZA?
I can't wait for Int Gogeta's EZA.
This is exactly what's going to happen with Goku Black soon. I mean, we could talk about EZAs too, because that's like another factor that goes into power creep. Because there's they clearly don't care about the power creep. Like it's so obvious.
And that's what's so awful though.
Fizz Black won't need much of a buff to be better than Int Black. Let's be real.
Yeah. Rough.
Int Black is terrible. I'm gonna say it. Int Black is like a bottom.
Abel, we're calling you out. Int Black is trash.
Int Black is a bottom 2 Dokkan Fest category leader.
Ooh, yeah, I
think Future Gohan is leagues better than Int Black.
I don't know. Really? I don't know. I think Future Gohan's like the worst, and then I think Int Black is the second worst.
Yeah,
like at least Future Gohan doesn't need 2 turns to get 80% attack up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say the bottom 3 are probably Future Gohan, then Int Black, then Super Buu.
Yeah, well, because I feel like he doesn't have, like, he's just good for his leader skill. I get. Well, I don't know, because I really don't see him hitting for that much, even when he transforms.
Honestly, I feel like, oh my god,
he can get high up, but he needs a lot of help. Like he needs, like all of his links are Buu links, so he needs like Buu partners on the team, and then he also needs like support because he has no key links, obviously, because he's a Buu guard.
I mean, doesn't he have Fear and Faith? Pretty sure.
Yeah, but does any other Buu have that? That's like Buuhan.
Kid Buu sure don't. Well, hey, whoa! This is a Buuhan free zone. Relax.
Like, personally, I think SG Ultimate Gohan is down there in one of the worst.
I think he's better than those 3, but he's not stellar.
Yeah.
If he had prepared for battle, maybe I'd feel different. But
he's really good on the Goku's lineage team.
Who on Goku's lineage has Shakti speed
though? The LR. Right or no?
They have cheat. They lose it for legendary power.
Oh. Well, I mean, I don't know. I just seen him. I've seen that he was good.
I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad unit, but like, because he's kind of like Kid Buu. He does a lot of damage if he supers. It's just getting into supers a bit hard.
Well, he also raises everyone's defense, and he can.
That is fair. He does have some
against all attacks.
I don't know. Like, in a way, like Ultimate Gohan feels to me like Super Saiyan 3 Broly in a way. Well, I know that statement just sounds like blasphemy. Give me a second to explain. Well, to me, like maybe it's just because I haven't 3Ds, but Super Saiyan 3 Broly, he's alright, but it's only good if you have one of them. Like if you're running 2 of them on a team, like say on Hybrid Saiyans.
You're talking about Ultimate Gohan, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Broly, Hybrid Saiyan. Hold up there.
No, but like 2 Ultimate Gohans just feels like he can't run that team properly because the 2 of them.
Well, I mean, if you're running the Hybrid Saiyan team,
but anyhow, that's a bit off topic. So.
But back to the EZA thing, you were saying that incorporates as well.
Yeah, it's a power creep. Yeah, I mean, you have. I think the biggest factors are the EZAs, just because the units are like look at like Int Janemba. He's like the best TR in the game besides I think Zamasu's better now, but
and Kale Khalifa, yeah.
Yeah, and Kale Khalifa TUR, but I mean, he went from being like fodder, like dumpster tier to like the best.
That is true.
It's like, did you ever use him like before he got EZA?
Never. No. He was literally SA1, no dupe system investment, nothing.
Same with like Tech Beerus. Like Tech Beerus is like nuts.
Well, yeah, but it's like was a bit more usable before his EZA, a little bit. Yeah,
I agree that he was better than Janemba, but it's like the amount of a buff that both of those units receive from EZA.
Yeah, those
is, like,
2 are
dumb.
Definitely top. Like I'd say top 3 to top 5 EZAs. Those 2 automatically.
I would even argue that the Tech Golden Frieza is like nuts now.
Oh yeah, he's stupid.
We talked about that in the last episode.
He's
actually,
always good.
Like,
Like I don't know like what their mindset is when they create these EZAs because
I think
those units are those units are so easy to get now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone has
just
them.
like a stone pack. Yeah.
I feel like the mindset is sort of like to just try and fix the issues, which me and Theo went over in the last podcast, saying like how they fixed Golden Frieza by just making him useful under 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, they
sometimes
make
go a
him
bit
useful.
too
He's
far.
like
He's better under 50%.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like so yeah, easy A's and then leader skills, and then I guess passives too at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time, passives weren't that different.
Yeah, it was just start turn attack boost, etc.
I mean, like the sweet spot for the number they would use for attack is like 120
yeah,
for like for a unit to be considered like like A1. Like they need at least 120% attack up.
heck, they're still doing it nowadays with the like Zamasu and Trunks' second form is 120.
Yeah, for TURs, I'd say that 120 is like
Yeah.
like what you're looking for in a TUR.
Yeah.
But now it's like I don't know. You have like the 280%.
Like that's just ridiculous.
280. That's so big.
It's not even restricted. Like all the cost of that is 10% minus attack to super allies, which is negligible.
Well, yeah, and you're losing 20% to damage reduction when you transform.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, that helps trigger big bad bosses at least. So
yeah.
And see, like that's the good thing. Like maybe it's just me, but I find Zamasu and Trunks, while they are stupidly busted, don't do everything like a certain new LR does.
Yeah, they don't do everything.
Like
But
Zamasu can't tank that well, neither can Trunks when he's in his final form.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I don't think we're gonna see a unit better than Kill and Khalifa for a long time.
I hope not.
I hope not. But what if they do like this? You know how they're coming out with a couple days after this comes out the banner to celebrate the new era in Japan.
Like,
what if they're just like?
I don't think that's gonna be a new unit on there. I think
I
it's
hope.
gonna be like it's gonna be like the New Year banner probably. Or something
Let's
along
hope.
those lines.
I don't know if it is the New Year banner. Then what are they going to do for New Year? Like if it is something like New Year banner.
Guaranteed Kale and Khalifa.
It might be like I don't know if you guys remember the New Year's banner from 2 years ago where it was like Rose featured.
Where was
like
what?
AGL Rose was featured for the on that, and it was like also AGL Super Vegito.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe it's gonna be like that, where it's just like a bunch of really like recent and good Dokkan Fest units.
That'd be cool.
That'd be nice, yeah.
I mean, because what if they're like, 50 yellow coins per multi? Like, bruh.
A little ridiculous.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Would not.
But, I definitely, I don't know if it'll be New Year's level. I mean, that would be cool. Although
I honestly hope they just keep the New Year's to New Year's.
Yeah,
and have
I like
Goresh's
Goresh's idea.
like last year.
Yeah,
I agree. That would be a good.
right. Just a bunch of good units because they already are draining us with stones, and that was a whole podcast we talked about how they've been just loading us up with banners. Even right now, they've been loading us up with banners.
Yeah,
at least Global has the decency half the time. Sure, it's slow sometimes, but like they'll literally be like, "Oh, LR banner, that's it." Just
yeah.
wait.
I mean, since Metal Cooler dropped, I really haven't spent anything. I mean, I did one multi on Goku Black's banner, and that was it.
Yeah, that's a waste at this point.
Yeah,
Black's on Zamasu.
I mean,
but you don't even need him because the other one's getting an easy A.
Exactly.
Right.
Then again, I don't have Fizz Black on my Global, so that's fun.
You can just buy him later with the blue stone.
And on Global, you can't even get coins right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So, unfortunate.
But yeah, I think with Kale and Khalifa though, the defining aspect that makes them so good is their defense. Because sure I mean let's not get it mixed up. They're insane offense.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
But it's just like I think the fourth or fifth turn they're at like over 200,000 defense plus a 66% chance to dodge. Like, how do you match that?
Yeah.
See, my issue with this, like, sure, like that is insane, and like, but it's the fact like they do all that plus additionals, plus insane damage and dodging too, with that much defense. Like, just like every card should have a weakness.
and they
And
have
they
so
don't.
much healing. Because if you get AGL orbs, what they have like 250%, 250,000 defense,
Yeah.
they're gonna heal up a lot.
Like, it's honestly just ridiculous. Like, at least Zamasu and Trunks have a weakness. They have something they can't do. But Caulifla and Kale can do everything essentially.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have 24 key literally going into the turn.
Honestly,
I don't know.
Yeah.
they literally broke Dokkan.
Yeah,
for,
they
for
literally
Akatsuki
did.
trying to fix them.
I don't think they were tested, honestly.
No,
It
I
doesn't
don't
feel
think
like
so
it.
either.
All you have to do is take them into and do one sim run of like a boss rush with them,
Yeah.
and you could tell immediately that there's something wrong with them, and or they're just too good.
Yeah.
I-
Heck, even now on JP, the glitch still isn't fully fixed.
Yep.
LRs are still
Yeah.
getting additional 24 key supers.
You know,
Yeah, they said they're gonna do an update soon to fix it.
I do
At,
think
at least the key overflow is fixed. That's
Yes,
good. Showcases
yes.
aren't.
Dead.
Showcases are on the table at least.
I do think it would be kind of cool if they maybe had some people, and they'd have to choose the right people, but if they had some people from the community, like maybe just 5 people that whenever a new unit came out or they had a new unit ready in development, they would test them, and then they would have, those people say like, hey, here's the problems and the good things about this unit, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, they'd be sworn to secrecy. But, I think that would even be kind of good for them, because I don't know if it's just they don't care and they're not testing, because like we said, clearly they aren't. But, or do they just test and they're not doing good enough tests or thorough enough tests or not enough tests? They're not play like, are they playing like, Broly, like the OG Z's hard Broly? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I do think that might help though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like obviously the Kale and Khalifa I don't think was tested like at all, because if A, they're just too good, and then B, there's so many issues with them, like technically speaking.
Right.
So it's like
They are literally broken.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were tested. But I mean, when you consider other units that came out, like the Trunks and Zamasu, I could see them maybe being tested, but I don't know. I don't think even if they were, that they didn't really care how good they were.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
Which I think is a problem in itself.
Yeah, they should care. I mean, like, I don't know. That is one thing that's sort of always kind of bothered me about Dokkan, and is sort of an anomaly to me. Because, like, I don't know if I want to be anymore, but at one point, I mean, maybe I still want to at least dip my toes in a little bit, but, like, as a sort of an aspiring game developer myself, a little bit, or at least interested, there we go, in the industry, right? It seems to me every game developer that I've encountered or, like observed or whatever, and even seen them like talk about their game, they seem so passionate about it, and like they really care about, the game and like how it plays, and they care about what the community says, and, they care about their project, it's like a love project for them. But I don't know if it's just, the Dokkan team has been at it so long, they don't feel that anymore, because there's because I know a lot of at one point a lot of people in the community were like, yo, is the dev team sick of working on Dokkan? And it almost, I don't know if it feels like that, but it does certainly feel like they just don't care, and that's just sort of weird to me and almost surprising, because I would think, if you're developing a game that you've worked this hard on, why would you not put as much time and care into it as you possibly can?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, because if you look at like some of the other parts of the game, like the quality of life stuff, like they've definitely improved on that. And like the super attack animations are much better now.
But like the whole thing with the game is new cards and summoning.
No, I know, but I don't know, because people, I don't know. I did a poll on this like a few months ago, and I don't know. I don't agree with the results, honestly, but it was about whether or not people summon because their units are cool or because they're strong, and actually most people voted because they were powerful, which I think is wrong, even though the results said otherwise. But I think when they post like the super attack animations on Twitter and stuff, and people look at that, they're like, "Oh, I want this unit."
Yeah.
It's not. They don't look at the details. Like, "Oh, I want this unit." I think it's more so like how cool the unit is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in
Yeah.
both boats before. I've been like, I saw the essay and I'm like, yep, I don't care how awful it is. I want it. And sometimes I've been like, and this unit's all right. And then I look at the, the details. I'm like, huh? I need to pull that.
I think a perfect example is in Goku Black, actually, because his essay animations are really good, but
True.
he's not good.
Yeah.
I feel like Turles Scout's a good example because Turles is godlike as a unit,
Yeah.
but it's Turles. Who cares about
Yeah.
Turles?
True.
Yeah, he's not very popular.
Yeah.
He's been in one movie.
True.
Yeah.
And in
So I don't know.
countless Heroes arcs, but yes.
I don't know
Fair
if it's because of a lack of like passion that they're just not testing units or not adjusting them based on like how powerful they are, but maybe they just, I think they just don't care at this point.
Right. Maybe they just view it as a money-making machine. I mean, heck, I can't really blame them considering how much money the game makes.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of people that I'm seeing on Twitter, like Japanese players on Twitter, that are like, yeah, like I pulled the unit, like I could pull the units, but there's nothing really to do with them, which is true.
Yeah.
But,
It's very unfortunate.
I mean, yeah, you could run Super Battle Roar for like the 80th time.
Yeah, right.
That's always cool.
I wish they like someday. I hope that that'd be awesome if it was us. But I hope someday someone can get an interview with the devs, cause
I mean, they did that live stream. That was cool.
I don't want to talk about that. I have PTSD from that.
I like that live stream.
No, it's not because
it's
of
a
the
great
live
live stream,
stream.
right?
It's because of the lack thereof. I didn't get to see it. That's why.
Yeah, it's still a great stream.
Yeah, what do you call it? I didn't get much sleep the night before. I got like 3 hours. I set an alarm and then I slept right through it. But
Yeah, I woke up early for that too.
I didn't get to because my body said nah, gee. But
Your body wasn't ready.
yeah,
No,
clearly.
but I remember because after the live stream they had a survey.
Mhm.
And,
I do remember.
I remember.
Survey, yeah.
I remember two specific questions from the survey because those are the ones that stood out to me. The first one was like, do you want to see more of these? And there was like yes, no, or like maybe or whatever the options were. And the other one was, what kind of active skills do you want to see in the future? So like that was sort of I think the only question or that they've ever asked to the players, like, what do you want to see in the future for units?
And
So
like
that was cool.
I feel like if
Let
they
me
did
note
that
you
more in
do
the beginning.
make a lot of Dokkan surveys on JP though.
Yeah, but they've never asked a question like that. Usually the questions are like, oh, what do you think about the events that we had? Like, because I remember for the 2-year anniversary they had a survey. I mean, the 4-year anniversary they had a survey, and they were like, what are your thoughts about like the Super Saiyan 4? I remember that one of the questions was like, why did you summon for the Super Saiyan 4s? And stuff like that.
I
Like,
remember something. Sorry to cut you off. I remember something that said like, "What would be something you want added to the game?" Or like they gave us a list of options or something.
yeah, and I remember writing in. I was like, harder events.
Because I remember that too. Because I asked you about the Shadow Dragons team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish they would do that because clearly they have a very passionate community, and I feel like they're kind of wasting a untapped resource in that. I don't know.
An untapped money reservoir.
I also think it's funny how they have never put a survey out for global.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
There was the Choose Your Dokkan Fest that we got made it happen.
Yeah, but that's not a survey. That's just like,
Which one will make us the more money?
Because a survey,
everybody wanted Khalifa, so
gross.
Because a survey improves the game, and I feel like them not asking global, like what they want to see in the future, is kind of like saying we don't care about global in a way.
I guess, but at the same time, the way I think about it is that the reason why they asked JP is because in a way JP is like the beta version for the global version. If you think of it,
yes,
if you
but
catch my
actually
drift.
no.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But I think the Japanese players have a different preference for things they want than
Right.
we do.
I was just going to say that. A lot of the things, because I don't remember what it was in particular, but there was a certain point in Dokkan where it was like a lot of global players wanted one thing and a lot of J players wanted another thing. I mean, take, for example, even something simple like what is it? The hollow backgrounds. Like JP, the Japanese player base likes those, while everybody on global thinks that they should go burn in a fire.
Yeah.
And
Well,
an
not just
easy
global, even like people who play JP. You mean
right,
people
right.
outside of
I
Japan.
mean, yeah, the Japan. When I say Japan, I mean the Japanese player base.
That's a good point though, because I've seen that too. Like there's someone that I follow who posts on Twitter a lot, and he or she, I don't know, plays global and JP, and it's a Japanese player.
Really?
And he/she was posting about how I think he or she browses the Reddit too, and they were saying how like everyone wanted to get rid of the hollow background, and like all the comments were like no.
I think it could just be an option as easy as, do you want it on, yes or no, and then turn it on or off if you want it.
Yeah, sure. But my point was just saying like that.
No, I agree.
They have way different preferences than what we have.
Right. Yeah,
Definitely.
I definitely think.
I mean, heck, the JP player base, like no card or anything, but like unless a card is like a Goku, Saiyan, or like Rose, they usually don't care.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody I know is still like, "Where's my Garlic Junior?"
I know. Yeah. Everybody over here is like, "Yo, Garlic Junior LR,
I
please."
still want a good Piccolo card.
People on
That too.
People on JP are probably just like, "Ew, copy Vegeta." Everybody on the global tower is just like, "Whoa, that's so cool."
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
discrepancies.
you know what I saw a lot of actually, which is really cool. But I mean, it was still a Goku card. Was the Kid Goku card that came out the Dokkan Fest, and people were going crazy over that card. Like I follow a lot of Japanese YouTubers,
Yeah.
and in the comments to like some of those videos where like they were showing the active skill for the first time when it was uploaded to Twitter, people were like, "Oh my god, this is like 100 times better than the 4-year anniversary. Like I should have saved my stones for this." And so people were going like crazy over that.
That's crazy.
See, that's a little bit more understandable, at least, because that's the first Dragon Ball proper Dokkan Fest.
Yeah.
In
But
4 years.
I'm going ham on that banner, so.
Yeah, it's definitely good. It treated me right. I love that Kid Goku too. He's really good.
That's my favorite animation in the game. I'm not even close.
It's a very good animation. I love how he has a unique KO screen too if you use the active skill and KO the enemy.
Yeah, so does Trunks, the new one.
Yeah, and Sammy, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh, true.
But not many of them do.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
well,
just
Goku and Vegeta do, but theirs is kind of lame. So I could talk about that too, but I'm not going to because I've shared my thoughts on those pieces of art before. But nonetheless, though, that Kid Goku definitely was making money moves for sure. I mean, heck, we hit top grossing with that, and usually on just like a normal Dokkan Fest banner. I mean, recently we have, but in the past we weren't always hitting top grossing every time.
That really opens doors too, because if they found that they could make money off of like a character like Kid Goku from Dragon Ball.
LR peel off when?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but they can start.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
LR peel off purchasable for 7,777 incredible gems.
I could buy that. But yeah, they could start releasing stuff like, I don't know, like Dr. Wheelo, Dr. Cochin, whatever, and other stuff like that. Like maybe not even as banner units. Maybe as like stuff you could farm from an event, and they like, I don't know, because something that I thought was really cool was that Goku that Dokkan's into an LR from 3 different story events.
Yeah, the Goku and Rally.
And I want them to do more of that.
Yeah, that was
honestly
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could start releasing stuff like Garlic Jr.
LR Krillin, please.
Yeah, or an
Krillin's
LR.
already part
actually,
of the
wait a minute.
Goku and
You know,
Raleigh.
shush. First of all, second of all, you know what could actually be cool? Kid Krillin, right? And then the TUR is the same art as that one, but it's the name of Krillin, and then his LR is like teen or adult Krillin, or I don't know. Maybe they go kid, teen, and then like adult to where he is now.
They're still if they're still doing LRs on the LR poll or whatever that happened way back when. Turtle School is still one of them.
That's true. Technically, they are. But yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. Maybe we'll do a podcast episode on that. But anyway, my friends, we have talked about a lot today, and I do think it was all ties back.
Hopefully relevant.
Yes.
I think all of it was pretty much relevant. I mean, in terms of like a new meta, like as a conclusion, I guess, it sort of depends on like what you consider to be like a meta in Dokkan. But I mean, you could each have your own opinions. But for me personally, it just feels like power creep more so than a new meta.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely think it's a little bit more opinion based. It's not, and that's sort of like the whole point of us sort of tackling the question, because before it was a lot more clear cut, and now it's not as much.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. I would definitely consider that the past 3 times the meta changed, that was definitely like obviously a new change in the meta because the events changed from being like semi-hard to very hard, or at the time they were at least.
Right.
And then also the unit leader skills were, like shot up like dramatically, which made the team way better.
Right. And they were clear cut as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But,
heck, we could talk about too that they never technically completed the whole 100% LR thing, but
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're ever gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Probably not at this
Big
point.
sad.
At this point, now it's like 130 category.
Yeah, they couldn't
then,
think of enough extreme cards to make L.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yeah. it is
They're all
really
super
dumb.
tough.
They could have made one Garlic Jr. Oh well. Anyway,
Golden
though.
Freezes is on the election. Doesn't have an LR.
Hey, maybe that'll be part 2 of Golden Week. We'll see.
Hey, I voted for him.
Of course you did. Why am I not surprised? Yeah. All right. Well, I definitely think that they'll still do those. I think they're still kind of working on them. The LRs from the poll.
Yeah, I mean, what was the last LR that came out besides Kale and Khalifa? Can't even remember anymore.
Baby and the trio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, baby,
Oh,
and the GT trio.
Huh.
Yeah. I
Well, I
think.
mean, yeah.
Well, because
I don't
the
know.
Forest were on there too. Super Saiyan 4 Goku LR was on the list.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So technically, he got made as well. I mean, I guess you technically, well, obviously LR Vegito won, right? But you know, they did make a couple other ones that were like technically they're. I mean, I don't know if you consider Beerus and Whis the Beerus one, because I think that was just Beerus in the poll, but I kind of consider it filling that role. But anyway.
I don't know because the Beerus in the poll was using the Hakai,
That is true. That is true.
and we still have not seen the Hakai in Dokkan. And
Which
I
is
think that
odd. Yeah.
I think that at this level that we're at right now with power creep and stuff, that's not that far fetched to just have a unit have a guaranteed kill as an active skill.
It should be like
After,
1%. It really should.
After like
Yeah.
after like 6 turns, they just kill the enemy.
But then
See?
that's
Actually,
really a power creep.
Not really, because after 6
6
turns,
turns. You're already almost done.
yeah.
That is
Might as well
true.
just Hakai. Hit the Hakai button.
I mean, you could have like a Hakai Beerus that has an active skill of a Hakai. You could have like a UI Goku, 100% chance to dodge with an active skill for like a few turns. You know.
Or if they release a Hakai Beerus with active, like you said, if the animation isn't like the enemy like spray like attack and then he grabs their wrist.
Yeah,
So
disintegrates.
if that's not the actual animation, I'm gonna be mad.
I mean, the animations recently have been like off the scales. So
Honestly.
Let's hope. Let's hope indeed. Yo, they could even do it like Fighters, where it like, you know, zooms in on like Beerus's face and hand, and you know he hits him with that young Hakai. But nonetheless, though,
The voice line's just him saying Hakai.
yeah, yes, that's
that
it.
would make
A
some money.
single word.
Yeah, that would make a lot of money. Rhyme Cell's wallet would be empty for sure.
Wait, but if that's released on global, would they have to change it to destruction?
Oh,
No, because in the show they said.
know.
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I actually
we've-
just saw that for the first time yesterday.
but then again, you are forgetting about our good friend Top.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't talk about that yet. Please
I
don't.
really hope that when the active skills come to global, they can just have the JP voices as an option. I mean, I'm sure they
I
can.
mean, it
because,
is.
Yeah,
You can change the voice line. I honestly hope they at least give it an English option.
they should. Yeah.
Because I can see it. I can see them just being like, yeah, you know, they're not going to record English voice lines.
Super Saiyan 4's the voice sounds so muffled.
Yeah.
know.
And they copied part of the Kamehameha from Goku from the summon animation.
Yeah,
Straight up.
did you see when I pointed that out? It's the same exact.
Yeah, it's
It's
literally the same
dumb.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kame. I was just like, hold on, am I summoning right now? It's a
Yeah,
look
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
It's the same exact sound file.
Lazy, my boy, lazy.
Kamehameha dot wave.
Yeah, pretty much. It's hot wave. I mean, hey, literally Kamehameha wave. But
Got him.
got him. But anyway, do we have any closing thoughts before we end here? Because I think we've just about covered everything.
I think I pretty much said whatever I had to say, but that's
Okay,
it
Mom.
for now.
Can we have a petition to remove LR Khalifa and Kale from the game?
No, because I pulled them.
Yeah, no, I'm still
don't
planning
care.
on summoning.
Remove them from the game.
No.
They're unhealthy for the game,
True.
honestly.
Wait, wasn't Kale and Khalifa on the ballot?
Yeah, that's right. They take inspiration from that, I'm pretty sure, even if it's not like 100%.
I don't even think Kale and Khalifa were like exception back. That was
Were they?
Oh, probably,
Oh,
actually.
right. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
And yeah.
But anyhow, that is going to do it for this episode of the Extreme Z podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, Goresh, thank you for being on once again.
Definitely.
Yep, thanks for having me. It was
No
fun.
problem.
No problem.
Definitely will have you back in the future if the discussion calls for it. But
Yep.
of course, we always enjoy having you here. But thank y'all for watching. Of course, thank you for sticking with us. And from all of us here at the Extreme Z podcast, we will see you in the next one.
See you guys.